Hey everyone, welcome to the Farm and Pastor's Wife. I'm so glad you're here. Today you're going to spend like 2 or 3 days with me just doing garden stuff and me showing you things in the garden, talking about the garden. We'll plant a few things and then at the end we're going to make a dessert, a persimmon pudding. So don't go anywhere. If you're new here, I would love for you to hit subscribe. I am Leslie, the Farm and Pastor's Wife. I upload content mainly on cooking. Oftentimes it's farm life, day in the life of, garden stuff, ministry stuff, grocery hauls, you name it, you'll get it. Little bit. It's mainly our life here on the farm and in ministry. So with that being said, I would love for you to hit subscribe, hit that bell notification so you don't miss anything that I upload. Be sure to give me a thumbs up, and the greatest way you can support my channel is by sharing my videos on your social media. So thanks guys, we'll run the intro and then we'll get right into the garden.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city, let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is...
Okay guys, we are going to run some errands here. I'm going to first walk up here to the garden and show you why we need to do this. I'm going to go by Southern States in Liberty. They sell the loose seed. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you a garden update. Let's do a garden update. Okay. Okay guys, we are here in our first row peppers, and looky what you see right, oh I can't get it right there, and I have several of those. I should have probably come through and pinched off the blooms so my plants could get bigger, but I did not do that. Okay, so this row right here that I'm standing in, this is zucchini and squash. Now this right here is the soil that had been compromised a little bit, but I'm seeing some growth in just about every hill. I think this one here doesn't have anything yet, and I think there may be one more down here that doesn't have anything coming out yet. But for the rest, looky here, I am seeing stuff. That one doesn't have anything yet, but look at that one. Oh my goodness, I think we may have missed that hill and put it all in that one. Here's some growth every hill. Now this row over here is my problem row, but it's the one I assumed would be my problem row because we did watermelon and the seeds were old, and I'm probably not going to replant that. I'll probably just keep this maybe tilled up and ready to do something possibly for the fall. But I do have one lonely guy coming up right there, not even in a hill, so I'm really not sure what that is. And look who's been in my garden. Yes, I've had a deer in my garden. And then this hill right here is coming up, and I then have another lonely, and I'm not sure what we planted down here at the end, but that's not what I'm going to get today. Oh, let's go back up here. Okay guys, and starting from this way up is where I planted the potatoes, and they were kind of iffy anyway as well, but it takes them a while to come up. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to let this go. And there's my digger. So we'll see what happens here. But now let me take you over to, let me show you the tomatoes. They're looking quite wonderful. I do need to go ahead and start tying up. I have not tied up yet. I was going to. Oh my goodness. Looky what I see. I see a tomato. Okay. So we've got to start getting these tied up. I was waiting for them all to be staked, but we ran out of stakes, and I was going to wait, but I don't know how long that's going to take. So I may this afternoon come out here and tie up tomatoes. I know tonight is my quilting night to go to church, or craft night to go to church, but I may have to take care of my tomatoes. But let's show you what I need to go to the store for. Okay, as you can see here, I have a beautiful stand of green beans. And we get to right here. And I have nothing till about the very last little few feet of the row. So I'm not sure what happened. I know we mentioned we did put some chicken litter on the garden, so I don't know what happened, to be honest. But this row over here is doing pretty well all the way down. I mean, it's kind of half a row anyway, or 3/4 of a row, but it actually is doing pretty good the whole way. There's, little areas here, but I see some coming up. Even in the crack of this row, I don't see any life. So I am going to just go, you may see one here and there. Like here's one. I did see some birds out here the day after we planted. So I don't know if they got them. I really just don't know. But the rest of this row we're gonna redo, and so I've got to go get some more seed. All right, so I am headed to the store to get the seed. Levi, my grandson Levi, absolutely adores tomatoes and cherry tomatoes, and so I'm gonna get him some of his very own cherry tomato plants, and we're gonna plant those. And Bryant's got to go get me some of that super soil, and it's hay days, so I don't know how that's going to happen, but anyway, we'll take it as it comes. So yeah, I'm going to go get seed. I'm going to run by the nail salon, and I've got to go get some jars. The lady at my niece works at Salvation Army, and they have some jars in, so we're going to run by and get us some jars. Look closely, you see another little driver in there. So as you can see, I took Judah to ride the tractor with Papa. So let's come up here to the garden. It's been a garden day for me. I've been up here. I just drove up here real quick so I could film this. I didn't need to drive. But let me show you this bean line. I think I showed you also the other day, really good stand through here. And then you can see down there that there's a whole section that did not grow well. So what I did this morning is I just took the digger and just kind of scraped out a trench again and just threw seed down, came back and just took my foot. You can still see some of the seed there, just lightly covered it. We're expecting rain tonight, so I just reseeded this one section. I then also tied up my tomato plants for the first time. They'll have to be tied several times, I'm sure. I still need to get stakes for the rest of my tomato plants, but I wanted to talk to you about tomato plants. I like to, if they were blooming when I bought my plants, I like to pinch off the bloom so that the plant can get established and all the energy to making a healthy plant goes to the plant and not necessarily the bloom. And so I have no problem when I plant coming through, seeing if there's blooms, pinching off any blooms. However, I'm going to show you something. You see this plant's kind of straggly, but I missed some blooms. And I probably could just go ahead and pinch off that tomato and it do the same thing as pinching off the bloom. But for some reason, I can't bring my heart to do it. When I actually see an actual tomato, I can't pinch it off. So I do have a few tomatoes on the vine already. And so yeah. Also, I probably should have done the same thing to the pepper plants, but did not. And I'll show you. Right there I have a little pepper growing. Probably should have taken care of it when I saw the bloom, but I didn't even do any of that to the peppers. We just planted the pepper plants, blooms and all, and I never came back and checked them. But as you can see, I have several little peppers. There's another one. And I think down here I have a little jalapeno growing. So the garden has had a lot of rain, but it's needing some more, and so hopefully we have some more coming today. But that's what I have done in the garden today. We're needing to weed. Bryant's going to get the tiller out, service it, get it going, and he'll run the tiller through until the plants get so big we can't do that. I need to get the boys out here and get some rocks up. I don't think I've ever dug up this many rocks. We must have went deep this year. Okay. All right, guys. So we will look at that tomato plant right there. He's a beaut. And Bryant's brandywines look really good. They're the ones over here that aren't staked yet. So they look beautiful. I haven't planted. I went and picked up Levi. I'll show you what I picked up. Let's go over here and I'll show you. For some reason, I asked Judah to carry some tomato plants, and he grabbed the tomato plants and he grabbed the Clorox bottle. Don't ask me why. But I bought these little cherry tomato plants. They look kind of sad, but I bought them anyway. And I bought another set for Levi. Levi loves tomatoes, and he especially loves little cherry tomatoes out of a salad. And I told y'all about my watermelon seed. So I picked up 3 watermelon plants, and they are sugar babies. And then one more cherry tomato, I believe. Yeah, I think this is a cherry tomato. So we will plant these. I've got a couple places left in the garden to plant, and then I have, what else do I have? Oh, I have my blue buckets, but I'm still waiting to get some soil for that. Here are the blue buckets. We supplement minerals for our cows, and they come in these blue tubs. And so Daniel went out in the pasture and gathered some. So what I'll do is, once I get the dirt, I don't want to do it till oh, look at the water. I need to drill holes, obviously. Take the bottoms, turn them upside down, and drill several holes in the bottom for drainage. And I've got some flowers to plant, the cherry tomatoes to plant. So, yeah. Y'all, I never drive to the garden, but since I was coming back from taking Judah, I just drove up to the garden. Well, when I was done out here with you guys and showing you everything, I walked back home, left my car up here running. Okay, everyone, this video has taken place over 2 or 3 days, and I'm back out here again this morning. This is actually my favorite thing to do, is to come out and check the garden first thing of the morning. Bryant and I usually do it together. However, he had to make a hospital visit this morning, and we didn't make it out here together. So I'm checking it. And I thought I'd talk to you for just a little bit, and then we're going to go in the house and make a persimmon pudding. I'm going to end this video with a persimmon pudding and get you off to a good, glorious, weird dessert. So, as you know, about halfway down my bean row, I had to replant. So I don't think there's going to be any growth yet. I don't expect it. I also am seeing lots of deer footprints out in my garden, so I may be ordering some fencing. I don't usually fence this garden. When I had the garden over at the other place, I would fence it, just because I'm not there. It's not close to the house, and we're not doing a garden there this year. And so I'm seeing lots of deer prints out here, so we may have to fence this off. I'm not sure, but let's go check the beans. As you can see, the row is doing really good. I'm starting to see weeds pop up. That was one thing, because we just did not do a lot of weed control out here. I tried the black fabric, and I don't know, I just wanted to try this year without it. So yeah, I don't see any new germination yet. I did water it, but it looks like it needs more, so Lord, send the rain. There's some beans on top of the ground. So hopefully we'll see some germination the next day or two. But okay, so let's talk about tomatoes. And yes, I tied up my tomatoes. They probably did not need it as of yet. They're still pretty small, but they were, as you can see here, some were starting to fruit where I did not get the blooms pinched off in time. And plus, I had the day, I had the time, I had the motivation, and it'll buy me some time before I have to tie it up again. So, and I still need to get, look at all these deer prints. They're everywhere. I mean, that booger is in my garden a lot. So we're going to have to do something. There's a little, so there's several deer in my garden, and we're going to have to do something about it. We're going to have to do something about it. But anyway, this whole row, this whole entire row has done nothing. But now this up here is potatoes, and so it takes a while. So I'm not sure that they haven't done anything, because I haven't given that time to come up yet. But down here, and this is kind of the area up there where the soil was compromised a little bit, so we may, I have a couple of things that, see, here are my heels. There's a heel, and nothing's coming up out of the heels, except for right here we have like a weird, like either a bird picked up the seed and dropped it and planted it there, or they missed the heel or whatever, and then there's something coming up. So, and here now here we have something in a hill, so that's good. And then we have another weird placement of something. So I'm not sure what happened in this row, but most of the row is potatoes, and it hasn't had time yet to come up. Plus, that was going to be an iffy situation anyway. That was just kind of a last minute thing. So let's check. We've got to get the tiller going because, like I said, I am seeing some weed growth. All right, we have some hills down here that did not germinate, and I'm not sure what they were, but anyway. But from here all the way up, we have good, amazing growth coming up. And this is our squash. Look at that deer print. And that almost looks like a cow print. But here we have squash and zucchini coming up like crazy. I mean, it is doing absolutely amazing. There's my water hose where I watered the beans. But I think they needed more. Look at this hill right here. I mean, it's just amazing. Nothing here. Huh. Nothing there. So we'll check on that one. But, and that's okay because these are sprawling plants, and if we skip a hill, that's fine. It'll give it some room to go. I'm not going to replant that. Here's another hill that's maybe iffy. Here's one that just one seed, two seed. Up here, we may not have planted as many seeds, but they're still coming up. And this too was part of the soil that was a little bit compromised. So there is growth here, and I'm super glad. So there's one way up here. So, and of course the pepper plants are doing great. I did not pinch the blooms off of these, so I have lots of little peppers already starting. So, along with lots of grass, so we got to get that under control. Yeah. But we have, I mean, lots of little peppers. Look at this one. And the pepper plants look really good. These right through here have grown like crazy. And I actually, oh my goodness, look at this one. Yep. And some of my jalapeno plants down there already have little jalapenos on them. So we're going to have a good garden. We just got to get the tiller going and run through and cultivate this ground, soften it up so we can pull up some dirt around the plants. And just keep an eye on those beans. And as soon as they begin to have runners, we will put our nice big trellis with T-posts up so it can climb up, and it'll make picking easy. So, all right. Let me show you one more thing before we go inside and make a persimmon pudding. So here are my blue tubs, and we've got the holes drilled. I've just now got to get someone to go get my super soil dirt. And over there are the cherry tomato plants. Y'all, let me go inside and I'll tell you about that. So let me tell you why the cherry tomato plants have not been planted yet. It's kind of humorous. It's not like ha 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 humorous, but it's a little humorous. I tied up all the tomato plants, and I decided I'm going to plant the cherry tomato plants the next day. So I tied up all the tomato plants, and we are in the middle of hay season. So therefore I take over pretty much all of the gardening except for, running the tiller, because it just like just jerks me around. I don't hold it, it holds me. And so I let Brian, and plus the tiller has not been serviced yet for the year, and so we got to get it going. So I was going to plant the tomato plants the next day after I replanted the beans, and after I tied up all those tomato plants. Well, the next day came, and which was yesterday. And I think it was yesterday. Anyway, I cannot move. Like, tying up those tomato plants, and I was getting up and down because I wanted to get my string right in my happy place where I wanted it. And the back of my legs, y'all, I cannot move. My back hurts, but it's mainly my legs. I did some laundry yesterday, and I dropped a piece of laundry, and I thought, I'm never going to get this laundry picked up because it hurts. I have worked out muscles that I forgot I had. And so I was just like, okay, Brian, you're going to have to plant you're going to have to plant the cherry tomato plants. And so it's hay season. And so he could care less about the tomato plants right now because we're dealing with hay and the baler broke. And so lots of things. So hopefully when he gets home from his hospital visit, we can run out there and together, if he does all the down low stuff, I'll dig the hole if he can put it in the hole and so forth. So I've got the cherry tomato, plus some of the cherry tomato plants are going to go in the blue tubs. I need the soil, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and we're going to plant some of those watermelon plants where the heels did not come up, you know, that one row down at the bottom yeah. So we're going to plant those watermelon plants and so forth. So anyway, with that being said, that's why the cherry tomato plants have not been planted yet. I also have some flower seeds to go in one of the tubs. So I'm eager to get that dirt today. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get my kitchen picked up a little bit. Bryant popped in some popcorn last night. I've got some stuff to put away. And we're going to get started on a persimmon pudding, and then I'll end this video. Well, guys, I thought you got the end of the gardening video, but we will go back out there because Daniel has gone to get my soil. Yay! And so I got to look for my flower seeds. But right now, we're going to go ahead and get this persimmon pudding going. I've got 1 cup, which is a half a cup of, not 1 cup, 1 stick, which is half a cup of butter melted. To that, I'm going to add 2 cups of sugar. I'm going to add, let's see, 2 cups, I thought that was right, 2 cups of self-rising flour. Self-rising flour. We're going to add in 2 cups of persimmon pulp. I measure my persimmon pulp out into 3 cups because my original recipe used 3 cups, but I have found I like this recipe better and it only uses 2. So I just put 1 cup back in the freezer. The next one I get out, I'll use a 3 cup and use 2 cups, and then I'll put that cup back in the freezer, and then I have another persimmon pudding. Okay, I'm going in with I call it a happy teaspoon. It's probably more like 2 teaspoons of vanilla. We're going to add in 2 cups. Oh man. We're going in with 1 cup of milk. No, we're going in with 2 cups of milk. Sorry. 2 cups of milk, and I'm going to actually stir that persimmon around just to clean so we can get all that persimmon goodness. 2 cups of milk going in. And that's just regular whole milk. And 3 eggs. It's really easy recipe. It's just about 2 cups of everything, except you got 3 eggs, 1 stick of butter, and some vanilla. All right, that is it. And I'm going to take my hand mixer. And yes, I'm going to wear it. Okay, everyone, I finished mixing and I scraped the sides. I probably should have sifted that flour, but that's okay. It's going to be delicious. I keep a stick of butter kind of out. There's a piece of the paper. I keep a stick of butter out pretty much all the time just to keep some softened butter around because I never know when I'm going to need it. And I've got my enamel pan that you guys saw me get. I think this is going to be a little bit bigger than a 9 by 13. Before I stick it in the oven, I'll measure it. But you want a 9 by 13. I think this is a little bit bigger, so this pudding may be a little thin. Now, let me tell you about persimmon pudding. At this point, before you put your mixer away, this is where it becomes very super duper highly debated. A lot of people like cinnamon and nutmeg and stuff like that in there. I do not. I do not want anything competing with that delicious persimmon taste. But I know a lot of people love their spices in their persimmon pudding. I just am not one of those. There's several things that I love cinnamon. It's not that I'm opposed to cinnamon. But there's certain things I just do not want it in. And sweet potato pie is one of them. Persimmon pudding is another. However, I do like, now my mama didn't even put cinnamon in apple pie, but now I do like cinnamon in my apple pie. But this persimmon pudding, and y'all, right here is the best part. That is so good. All right, let me get a napkin, wipe that little drip off right here. Got my oven preheating to 350. The family is going to be super surprised because they're not going to be expecting this. So I'm going to get this in the oven. I'm going to let it cook for 45 minutes, and then I'm just going to turn the oven off and leave it in the oven till the oven cools down. So I'm going to get this in the oven, and then we're going to go put the tubs out where they need to go. Okay guys, I've got 2 tubs at the, hang on, sorry. 2 tubs at the end of my tomato rows in which I planted 2 cherry tomato plants in each of those tubs. Yeah, it's pretty close together, but hopefully since they're cherry tomatoes, it won't be too bad. And I think one of those is a determinate, so it won't grow very tall. The other ones I do believe are indeterminate, which means they can grow pretty tall, but hopefully since they're cherries, anyway, it's not as important for them as it is my other tomato plants. I have 1 cherry tomato plant going in here, and then in this tub and this tub, I'm going to plant some flowers. I'm going to plant calendula over here in this one, and I'm going to plant some zinnias in this one. You can see this one is shaded a little bit, but it doesn't stay shaded long. The sun will hit it and hit it pretty hard in just a little bit. So 1 lonely tomato plant. I may put 2 here. If I need to move them, I can. If I need to separate them, I can. So I may go ahead and put 2 here because I've got like 4, 5, 6. I have 7 left that haven't been planted. So I may go get another one and put in here with it. calendula seed are so cool. They look like little snails is what they look like. Little bitty snails or slugs. But I think they're kind of cool. Okay, so tomatoes have been planted. Zinnias and calendula have been planted. Beans have been watered. I'm done out there. And guess what's come out of the oven? And that is exactly what persimmon pudding, otherwise known as shaky pudding, should look like. I cannot wait to dig into this. My favorite parts are the edge. Some people love the center and some people like the edges. I'm an edge person. So, I don't know. Hang on, let me turn the camera back around. I don't think you guys will get to see the taste test because it's hot. I'm not going to taste it now. So, let me just tell you, that's exactly what it looks like. It's going to be delicious. But if you want to see it being tasted, tune in to tomorrow's video where we're having a family night and you can see it be tasted there. But I can guarantee you it is absolutely delicious. So I'm going to go end this video for you guys and get it edited and out for you, and go ahead and start on tomorrow's video because we're having family night tonight. We're having spicy chicken sandwiches, homemade, home fried, home everything, spicy chicken sandwiches and Frito salad. Oh, it is so good. And persimmon pudding for dessert and chips as a side. So, all right. So I will see you guys tomorrow on the Farm and Pastor's Wife. Remember, if the grease is hot enough, you can fry anything. Bye, y'all. Persimmon pudding.